So the Packers are now coming into week 2, and we still do not know how long it's going to be till David Bakhtiari is back. We don't know how long it's going to be till Elgton Jenkins is back. And last week we saw the effect of not having two of your all-pro tackles in a David Bakhtiari and an Elgton Jenkins. We were, Aaron Rodgers that game got sacked 4 times according to ESPN. Zadarius Smith, Danielle Hunter both had, got some pressures there on Sunday versus the Green Bay Packers. And so now as we come into week 2, I want to talk about 2 different players, and they both happen to be on the offensive line who I think need to take some steps forward coming into this game to, solidify this offensive line, keep Aaron Rodgers safe, allow him to have the time to find guys down the field. I do think last week, even though we did allow 4 sacks, there were some times where the O-line held up. Rodgers just couldn't find anyone open, and he had to, move around the pocket. Then, of course, the longer you hold the ball and the longer you allow the defense to get the pressure, at some point, they're going to lose their blocks. So not everything was the fault of the offensive line, but when you're missing 2 of your elite, talented offensive linemen in Bakhtiari and Elgton Jenkins, you're going to struggle a little bit more. So I want to take a look here at last week's game and the pressures that were allowed on the offensive line. Jake Hansen allowed the most pressures, starting at right guard, allowed 4 pressures, and then Royce Newman at right tackle allowed 3 pressures. So the 2 players last week were both on the right side of the offensive line who struggled the most on when it came to allowing pressures, and I do think those 2 guys coming into this week, if both Bakhtiari and Jenkins can't play, and we do bring out the same offensive line, those guys need to take a step forward coming into this next week. If we grade that, this is PFF's website, by the way, if you didn't already know this, but if we grade it by pass block grade, according to PFF, Jake Hansen had a very bad pass blocking grade of 14.4, not good whatsoever. And then we have Royce Newman, 47.8. They gave Zach Tom 41. Yosh Nijman played really well, 87, which is like an elite grade. So did John Runyon before he went down with his concussion. And then we have Josh Myers, 59.5. Not incredible, but he only allowed 1 pressure overall. And the question is, with this O-line, as I said earlier, it's like, who is going to be able to be healthy this next week? Maybe. I'm just a little worried about Bakhtiari. I saw a clip of him in this past week. It looked like he was sort of limping in pain a little bit. I don't exactly know what that was. Maybe he was just walking funny, hopefully. But I just don't know what's going to happen with him, which has been the current theme for the past 20 months or so. Elgton Jenkins, hopefully he'll be back soon, because I do think if we can kick him out to right tackle, which it seems like he'll move out there most likely. You never know what the Packers will do, though. But once he's at right tackle, the Packers then can have the ability to make a decision. Do they want to keep Jake Hansen a right guard? He struggled week 1, but maybe week 2 he comes in, has a better game, fixes the mistakes. Or do the Packers want to move back to last year with Royce Newman as a rookie starting at right guard? Do they want to kick him back in to right guard if Elgton Jenkins is able to play at right tackle? You do also have the ability to put Zach Tom at right tackle. We saw him in the preseason. He played pretty well. Obviously, that is the preseason. It doesn't necessarily mean that he is going to be able to produce in a regular season game, but I sort of wonder if the Packers are contemplating these different potential decisions with the guys they did have here. Matt LaFleur said earlier this week that Zach Tom he sort of acts like a veteran. He's not like your typical rookie, and I think that we've seen the Packers give him the ability to come in, take some snaps. When John Runyon Jr. went down with a concussion this past week, Zach Tom came in at left guard, even though he was a 4th-round pick. We had Sean Ryan, other offensive lineman, drafted in the 3rd round, but he doesn't seem to have taken the steps forward that Zach Tom has in his short time here in Green Bay. And so the theme for the past week or so has been, the uncertainty on the offensive line. Who's healthy, who's not healthy? What are the Packers going to do on Sunday? We just don't really know, because Bakhtiari, if he's out there, could go left tackle. Elgton Jenkins, right tackle. What else happens there? There's just some uncertainties there, but if we bring out the same offensive line as last week, Jake Hansen and Royce Newman need to take some steps forward there to hopefully allow Rodgers and this offense to have some more time to throw overall. I do think, though, when we look at the Vikings last week, their pass rush, much better than the Bears' pass rush. But the Bears overall last week, they got some pressure on Trey Lance. I want to read you some stats here from some of their their pass rushers. So Gibson on the Bears last week had a total of 4 pressures. He lined up mostly on the left side there. We have Dominique Robinson, who was a 5th-round draft pick by them, played very well. Had 3 pressures and 2 sacks in this game. And then, of course, we have Robert Quinn, who is a very good, pass rusher. Last year had 18 sacks overall. And so there are some talented players on this Bears defensive line that we're going to need to hold up against. And the question is, can this same line that struggled a little last week be able to keep Rodgers safe, allow him to have that time to hopefully find some open receivers and find the guys to get the ball. We'll see. There's lots of uncertainties coming into week 2 for this offensive line. Hopefully everyone is healthy soon. That's the biggest hope all of us Packers fans have. But that's basically what I wanted to break down today. Thank you for watching, as always. If you want to check out my second NFL channel, link down below. Maybe a video up here, possibly if I do it. We'll see. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.